Kevin Durant's free agency, an in-depth breakdown of the superstar's options. As the Warriors endured the most trying season of their dynastic run, they struggled to escape speculation about Kevin Durant's pending free agency. Then, with one planting of the foot in Game 5 of the NBA Finals, all the rumblings about where Durant could land were overshadowed by one word: Achilles. As Durant has given his top 4 suitors the Warriors, Nets, Knicks and Clippers no indication of where he plans to sign, according to league sources. Now that he has, there is no timetable for a decision. What is known is that sources throughout the league believe that Durant has yet to decide where he'll play next. According to one although Durant has remained relatively mum throughout this process, he has revealed enough about his thinking in recent months to paint a portrait of what will go into his free agency decision. Below is a detailed reasons for signing. By returning to Golden State, Durant would help ensure that the dynasty is paused, not over. If both Durant, in helping lead Golden State to another title or two, Durant would be remembered as a core member of one of the best teams in NBA history, rather than just a mercenary who used the Warriors to pad his postseason resume. Still, the Golden State can offer him a 5-year supermax contract worth $221 million. No other team can. If he signs a supermax with the Warriors, Durant stands to earn roughly $50 million in 2023-24, when he'll be 35. Durant's Achilles. There has been chatter in recent days about the possibility of the Warriors sending Durant to whatever team he prefers in a sign and trade, which would allow Durant to maximize his earning potential and ensure that Golden State wouldn't lose him for nothing. But according to leak, the thinking inside the organization is that, while a sign and trade might sound good in theory, it's a lot of work for little gain. Also, why would Durant? Reasons for not signing. If Durant leaves, he'll do so to cement his status as the greatest player of his generation. He has long wanted. The Warriors system was designed around Curry, and his was the face of the franchise long before Durant joined him in July 2016. In Durant's mind, Bleacher Report recently reported that Durant is really pissed off at the Warriors, presumably for how their training staff handled his return from a calf injury in the NBA Finals. The Chronicle has reasons for signing. League sources believed for much of last season that if Durant left the Warriors it would be for Knicks. But in recent weeks, Brooklyn has long made sense for Durant from a basketball standpoint, and recent reports that his close friend Kyrie Irving is leaning toward signing with the Nets only buoy the franchise's chances. Durant and Irving. Although Brooklyn can't offer Durant the prestige or history of the Knicks, it can give him a much better chance of winning a title as the go-to option. The Nets are far better. Las Vegas. Emboldened by it also doesn't hurt that Durant has history with the Nets team physician, Dr. Martin O'Malley. O'Malley performed. Reasons for not signing. Simply put, the Nets don't have the allure of the Knicks. Some league sources. Reasons for signing. Reports have linked Durant to the franchise for 9+ months. Kleiman is a New Yorker who has been open about his desire to run the Knicks someday. Durant's father, Knicks general manager Scott Perry, was an assistant general manager for Seattle when the Supersonics drafted Durant 2nd overall in 2007. Knicks assistant coach. All of these ties are relatively superficial, however, when compared to the main reason Durant would sign with the Knicks to lead a historic franchise in a major media market to its first title since 1973. Nothing would better. Reasons for not signing. The Knicks have been a league-wide punchline under owner James Dolan, and there are no guarantees that Durant's addition would suddenly make the franchise functional. By trading Kristaps Porzingis to Dallas in January to free up 2 max salary slots, New York went all in on free agency as its path to respectability. With Irving being linked, New York has the most barren roster in the league. Outside of recent reasons for signing, if their first-round series against the Warriors was an audition for Durant's services, the Clippers aced it. They have a talented. If they also sign Kawhi Leonard to a long-term deal, the Clippers might be the Western Conference favorites as soon as Durant returns from his injury. Even if Leonard does, reasons for not signing. Leonard probably wouldn't join the Clippers to be Durant's sidekick, which means Durant would have to gamble on the front office bringing in someone notable next year. That's a risk. There is also a question over whether the Clippers even want Durant. According to Bleacher, bottom line. Although Durant might meet with the Clippers, this appears to be between the Warriors, Nets and Knicks. According to a leak, Connor Letourneau is a San Francisco Chronicle staff writer. Email.
Raindrops, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park, pot.